The Prophet replied and he said, did they not make halal what Allah made haram? That is their shirk. Did the people not follow them in it? That is their shirk. Example? Allah made riba haram. Don't worry, I'm not going to stay too long on it. Allah made riba haram. And they changed the Torah to make it haram. My book, The Religion of Abraham and the State of Israel, a view from the Quran, describes all these changes, but unfortunately they're all sold out. We don't have any copies for you today. They're being reprinted in Kuala Lumpur. And also my book, The Caliphate, the Hijaz and the Saudi Wahhabi nation state, which is today's lecture, that also was sold out last night. If you don't have any copies, you have to wait until it's reprinted in Kuala Lumpur. Oh, you got it there. All right, mashallah, we got it there. Mashallah. They made halal, they made riba halal. What does the Torah say? It says it now. And when I have the rabbi sitting next to me, I quote it for them. The Torah says now, it is haram for a Jew to lend money on interest to another Jew. That's haram. With halal, you could lend money on interest to those who are not Jews. They made halal what Allah made haram. I have two books on this subject, on the prohibition of riba in the Quran and Sunnah. It would do you well to read and study that book. It might save you from the fire. Because so many people, they show no difficulty in borrowing money on interest to buy a house, to buy a flat, to buy a motor car. Huh? No difficulty. If you only knew, Allah has waged war against those in riba. And the Prophet has cursed all four. He cursed them. And he said they're all equally guilty. The one who takes riba, the one who gives riba. The one who records the transaction and the two witnesses. Whoever goes before Allah with the curse of the Prophet upon him, he doesn't have a chance. No chance at all. I believe we have a few copies of those books left there, but we also have a bahasa now. A translation of the importance of the prohibition of riba in Islam has been translated into Bahasa, and we brought it just tonight. They made halal what Allah made haram, and that is shirk. And when the people accept it and follow them, that is their shirk. So when you go on your boat for a people who've already done that, they've legalized gambling, legalized lottery, legalized borrowing and lending money on interest, legalized everything that Allah made haram. You go and vote for them. Haven't you followed them into the shirk? So you become a part of the shirk. Around the world of Islam today, we have been embraced in this shirk, and our people are not even aware of it. Because most of us see with only one eye. Not with two eyes. What now is the destiny of the Khilafah? Listen to the hadith. It is Sahih Bukhari. Yes, Sahih Bukhari. كيف أنتم? How will you be at that time? إذا نزل عليكم ابن مريم, when the son of Mary will descend amongst you. وَإِمَامُكُمْ مِنْكُمْ, and at that time your Imam, meaning Amirul Mu'mineen, meaning your Khalifa, would be minkum, from within the Muslim community. What this hadith of Sahih Bukhari is saying is three things. Number one, then the Khilafah will be restored. Yes, it's coming back. How long again? My estimate, within the next 50 years. And when the Khilafah comes back, Islam becomes the ruling state in the world. And the secular state is going down in the garbage bin. Because we are the ruling state in the world. What the hadith is saying, number two, is that prior to the return of the Khilafah, our Imam would not be minkum. Your Imam, the people who rule over you, would not be from within your community. Rather, you will have Amir al-Mu'mineen, George Bush. Amir al-Mu'mineen, George Bush. You have the Security Council of the United Nations ruling over you. And you have an essentially godless people ruling over you. Even if they have Muslim names, they don't know Islam, they don't live Islam, and they rule over you. So number one, the Khilafah will be restored. Number two, prior to this, your Imam would not be from within your community. And number three, the hadith is saying that the return of the Khilafah will take place at that time when the son of Mary comes back. Prior to that, however, if you were there last night, when Dajjal is released, he will live on earth for 40 days. 1 day like a year, 1 day like a month, 1 day like a week, and the rest of his days like your day. We don't have the time to repeat what we said last night. But I do hope that Masjid Abdul Alim Siddiqui will get that tape and make it as a CD and sell it for $12. So that the money can go to the Masjid Building Fund. Please tell them to do that for me. Last night we argued that 1 day like a year, the island of Sahih Muslim is Britain. And when once we came to the conclusion that 1 day like a year was the island of Britain, then 1 day like a month was the United States of America. And during this time, Israel is being strengthened, financially, economically, military strengthened. That's what the United States is doing. Until 1 day like a week, which is not as yet starting. And then Israel will become the ruling state in the world. I expect this to take place within the next 5 to 10 years. Okay? When Israel becomes the ruling state in the world, then Israel will remain as the ruling state for a short period of time. Maybe maximum about 25 years. 25, 30 years maximum. In fact, it is possible for us to refine this thing if we do proper calculations. And look at history and observe history. We can probably do some better calculation. But when Israel is towards the end of 1 day, like a week, at that time the oppressions will be most intense. The Sea of Galilee will have run dry, no water. It doesn't have to become dry before you can't use the water. Once the water cannot be unpalatable. Too much salt content in the water, too much algae in the water. Then you can't drink that water. That could happen this year. That could happen this year. That is how bad the Sea of Galilee is now. Then where are they going to get water from? I mentioned this last night. It is at that time that Israel is going to build all the desalination plants. You want water? You're going to buy it. But river has ripped them dry of their money. They don't have money. Yasser Arafat doesn't understand this subject. Okay, if you want the water, you're going to have to bow down and